As soon as the, okay. Good afternoon. Thank you all for joining us today for our first webinar of 2018. Today we're going to talk about the upcoming Supplier Advocate meeting and how to make the most of NEA's Advocate meeting. Presenters today will be Kirk Downey, who's Vice President of Membership for NSC, and myself, Jeff Smedley. I am current 2018 Chairman of the Board for the National Suppliers Council. Our contact information is on the screen. If you need to contact us, feel free to. You can also reach out directly to Michael Rosenthal at mrosenthal@naahq.org if you have any questions about the National Suppliers Council. Just real quickly, I would like to kind of read our mission statement for NSC. Our mission statement reads, in partnership with the National Apartment Association, we are the voice for all of the apartment industry suppliers, providing access to business, opportunities, education, and advocacy for our members. Before Kirk gets started on the presentation, I just wanted to share with you that I feel like the now called Advocate, previously known as the Capital Conference, is one of the hidden gems in our industry. It's one of the best meetings every single year, bar none, and it's one that I always make sure to be at for the entirety of the meeting. Kirk will review it with you, but it's actually 2 meetings in one, and if you are a supplier in this industry, there is no better meeting than to attend than this meeting right here coming up in DC. On that note, Kirk, I will turn it over to you, and take it away.
Thank you, Jeff. Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining. I want to first talk about one of the things you'll see on the screen is Gather, Take Action, and Impact. And that's the tagline for this year's event at NAA Advocate. As Jeff, anyone who is a Capital Conference person and knows now that it's called Advocate. And Advocate has changed a little bit. The format, normally we would have our committee meetings and then go to the Hill. This year we're switching it up, going to the Hill first. So you see the first thing is Advocate on Tuesday and Wednesday, which is March 13th to the 14th of 2018. Then after that's going to be the NAA and NAAEI. For those who are new, NAAEI is the Education Institute. Governance and committee meetings, those will be Thursday and Friday, March 15th through the 16th of 2018. And everything is being held at a different hotel, different venue this year. We have now moved to the Grand Hyatt Hotel in DC. The great thing about this hotel, if you are flying into the Reagan Airport, you can take the shuttle or whatever it is that they call it. You can take that directly to the hotel now. That is one of the advantages of this hotel. So take advantage of that and see how that works for you. Next slide, please. Okay, a couple of things to expect coming to this event. We say join hundreds. This normally ends up being over 700 people. Some of your closest peers will be there in the industry. It's a Lobby Day Materials Center to prepare for the Lobby Day. Attend Washington 101 for a few preparation tips for congressional visits. Then onto the issues briefing and orientation where you can learn about the issues. If you've never been to this event, I would suggest highly to attend that to kind of understand what this event is all about. The next is Lobby Day, and this is going to be a great opportunity for veterans and newbies to attend and be seen as a supplier advocate. And what we mean by a supplier advocate is we need to make sure that our partners in this industry, which are the property management people and the association people, know that we are a true partner during this process. This is not just their industry, it is ours. We need to care about what's going up on Capitol Hill and the decisions that affect them and their businesses will affect our businesses, and they need to see us there as a true supplier business partner advocate with them. The next is supplier advocates would need to attend and participate in the NAA committee meetings. We're going to go over that shortly and talk about some of those meetings. And you need to then figure out what do you think is going to be the best fit for you and your team. The NSC meeting we'll discuss, and then attend the NAA PAC BGF event and the military career fair. And we're going to be talking about all of those shortly. First, Washington 101. This is the boot camp for Advocate. This is where on Tuesday, March 13th, it's from 1:45 to 2:45. It is only 1 hour. It'll be a quick session, but it really lets you know, especially if you're a first timer, what to expect here. The next is the lobby day issues briefing, which we discussed. That's on Tuesday, March 13th from 3 to 4. This is the what and why we're going to be there. Next slide. This is probably the most important thing you need to understand about this event. You know, who attends? Owner managers, fee managers, regional executives in leadership positions in those property management companies and suppliers. You're going to have supplier regional and national suppliers. I think another thing to being a proud Floridian in Region 9 is that I know personally that we have a lot that attend this event that are local or multi-city that are beginning to attend this event and are really learning a lot from it and then taking it to their Capitol Hill and their state. So I would suggest pretty much anybody. You don't necessarily need to be a super regional or national supplier to attend this event. You may not always have the opportunity to do business with everyone in that room, but you're going to learn a lot about what you can do to take back to your state. And it's just going to help you with those people that you are working with in your state. So this is a win-win for everyone, the education that you're going to get. What is the NAA PAC? That's a great question. We like to say this is for like-minded individuals connected by issues, beliefs, and employment. For me, I tell everyone this is where individuals contribute to the legislators up there and give our views of what we think is important and kind of model that on NAA. I think that's really what you're going to learn if you've never been to this event, that understand exactly what NAA is pushing. And we have a great team at NAA that does that for us, and understanding what we are fighting for and making sure our voice is heard with these people that we're going to visit on Capitol Hill. But this is also a time for us to raise funds and understand what these funds are for. Some people think that raising funds does not help. I can tell you that it does help. It definitely helps you get doors open to where we can have those conversations. And the key is relationships, conversations, and education. If we're not in there educating our legislators on what's going on and how it affects us, they don't know. They have a lot on their plate, and if we don't go in there and let them know how this is affecting us and our team and our people and these families that are being affected by this, they're not going to know. So this is very important.
Hey, Kirk.
Yes, sir.
I'd add on that, our most recent PAC was very influential and was very successful in the issue we had under tax reform. And had it not been for Greg and the NEA's team, the multifamily industry would have been in a much worse position based on how that tax reform was initially written. So that's just one example of how we can influence these people to better our industry.
Agreed. All right, the political process. First, the PAC contribution. With that PAC contribution, we'll then roll into building the relationship. From that, opportunities for education, helping them understand our industry, and then hopefully, in turn, we will get their full support on any advocacy that we have going on at the time. What will NAA PAC do for you? Well, first off, it lets you become part of the political process. If you've never done that in your life, it's very special. We all hear about it, we all learned about it in school, but if you've never had the opportunity to be part of that, it is very special. I would highly suggest to go on Capitol Hill with your region, spend some time with those people, and really see how the political process works. If you're not amazed when you leave, then I can't help you with that. But I will tell you that this process is going to allow NAA to compete effectively with other industries. Everyone's in there trying to get their ear. And we have to make sure that we're getting their ear during that time period that we have with them. It's going to benefit you, and it's going to benefit your company. If you're a salesperson, anything that benefits you is always going to benefit your company. And you're also going to get a lot of tools during this process. You're going to get a lot of paperwork, a lot of information from the NAA team and probably from your regional team to educate these legislators. And you'll get to hear your team or your regional team talking to them, and it is a very special day. BGF, not to be confused with the NAA PAC. The BGF we have here at NAA is used to underwrite NAA's PAC fundraising activities. The affiliates rely on the contributions to the BGF for reimbursement of the expenses to host an NAA PAC event. And anyone who has attended know that we always have an NAA PAC event of some sort going on at pretty much every NAA event. And what this money is for us to hold those events, so the money that we're raising there is not spent towards that. It will go to 100% contribution to our legislators to figure out how we're going to spend that money. So the BGF is very, very important. You'll see a slide here momentarily that shows what we raise each year for that, and what that, you'll know now what that money is used for. These contributions to the NAA PAC are restricted to eligibility by federal law, but contributions to the BGF, which is the Better Government Fund, is not restricted. These contributions can come from any individual's account, but it can also come from your company, which is a positive. So from a company standpoint, this is the only time that they can give to this fund. So remember, if you have a company that is not giving, it's a great time for them to give the BGF and help support these events. Next is the NAA PAC and BGF receipts. This is pretty impressive. If you look from 2013 through 2017 last year, you can see every year there's been a substantial growth. This last year was a record, as you can see, and it really was a phenomenal year. And I'd like to throw props out to Chris Carter from Carter Haston, who was the chairman of the PAC Board of Trustees, and had a record year and did a phenomenal job. And also to my new lovely wife, Angie Pusateri, was in charge of this for the NSC and also had a record year. So those two together were a dynamic duo this last year. And I can tell you that we've got Gunty and Jay Lopeman with us that are coming up this next year, which is another dynamic duo. So I see 2018 being another great year. You can see in the blue, that's the PAC contributions. You can see in red, the BGF. So you can see we have right now $118,000 we raised last year to help pay for the events. So when you go there and you see these incredible locations that we're having, that money at the bottom in red is what's going to get us those spots. Next slide. This is a great slide. I don't know how many people on this call know what region they're actually in. You can see the color-coordinated United States of America and see where you're at. And I think that's really important to know your region. So when we have the region meetings, be sure to attend those meetings. Those people in that room are going to be very influential in everything that you do, and get to know them well. Let them know that you're involved. So look on this chart. If you do not have this chart, please let Jeff or myself or anyone on the NSC executive team know, and we can make sure we get this to you. And help you get to the right region meetings when those come available. Also, it helps us know where you're at for volunteer help. Maybe we'll need some help in that region, or if you're interested in volunteering, please reach out to us, and then we'll know which region you're in, and we can get you on a spot. Next slide. NAA committees, talked about this earlier. I'm going to read through these really, really quickly. And I think it's kind of important. I'm not going to give you a synopsis on all of them. I'll just do it with a few of them. And then you can figure out, when you come to this event, it's very important to understand why you're there. And you're there to get educated, but it's also an opportunity to go into those rooms and see all those decision makers and let those decision makers see you. And it will give you, depending upon what your business is, which committee meetings do you need to be in. Whether you're learning from it or those are the people that you want to talk to afterwards, and you can put a face with a name. So a couple of them: legislative, membership, budget and finance, affordable housing, Campus Connects, which is the student housing, has now been changed to Campus Connects, independent rental owners, huge committee, great group of people. Operations committee, lease advisory, next generation, that is the younger group. That's in some industries, you'll call that the emerging leaders. Ours is called next generation. Apartmentalize, this was the original, every June when we have that event. In the summer is now called Apartmentalize, which was the education conference prior. Marketing committee, privatized military housing. Association Executives Council, NAA Education Institute Committee, NAA PAC Board, NAA PAC Ambassadors. We've been talking about PAC. If you're not sure what to go to, I think going to the NAA PAC Ambassadors meeting and sitting around and listening to what's going on, you will definitely benefit from. Technology Committee, that is where I'm at most of the time. If you are a technology company or have anything in technology, we would love to have you in that room and hear what you've got to say. And then the last is corporate social responsibility. And before I move on to this, all of those committees and schedule are on the NAA website. Definitely want to look at that and see how those lay out. Sometimes they do override each other. So instead of waiting till you get there to decide what you're going to do, I would suggest having that already set up in your calendar so you can attend the ones that you want to attend. Next, not always the funnest conversation to have, but we're going to talk a little bit about etiquette. One, just because we think it's important. So check the venue or the NAA website, which we talked about. And for any event, it's always going to let you kind of know what the appropriate attire is. Most NAA events that aren't a trade show are going to be business casual. But there are going to be some that are a little bit more relaxed. Now, the PAC BGF event, we call it a relaxed social environment, but it's still going to be business casual. It's great for introductions and building rapport with those key executives in these property management companies that you want to meet. You're going to build great friendships, and this is the place to build it. Nothing better to be having a conversation with someone while you're having a cocktail. It really helps build that relationship. So this is not an event that we want to get aggressive with our sales tactics. We want to kind of leave those at the door and then just get information from someone or remember it, and then follow up with them after this event. This really is a social gathering. This isn't really the time to sell. This isn't time of introductions. So let's make sure that we, as salespeople and suppliers, that we do that. And also remember that people want to do business with people that they know, like, and trust. If you see someone that you want to meet, find one of us or another supplier and see if they can get you an introduction. That's going to be a great introduction for you, and that's what we're all here for, is to help each other. So let's make sure at this event that we remember these etiquette tips. How to maximize your sales opportunities and your ROI. All of our bosses at our companies want to read this slide. So a couple of things that can help you to research and set target list for those introductions. We just kind of talked about that. If you see people that are attending that you don't know, please reach out to your fellow suppliers to see if anyone knows them and work on getting an introduction. That's what we're here for. Contact your NSC mentor. If you are a new company and you're in year one, you should have had a mentor put to you. So if you know that mentor, reach out to them. If you're past year one and you still remember your mentor, reach out to them. That's what we're here for. Or anyone on the NSC executive team, we're always here to help. Another way is to contact your local affiliate to see if they know who they are and see if they can help you. Always look at all the networking opportunities. This event, there pretty much is a reception every single evening with an opportunity to network. So always take advantage of those. I know a lot of people like to disappear and go off to dinners and drinks and things. Take advantage of the opportunity to network while you can and schedule everything else after that. The last is participation volunteer. What that means is to be involved, be on the committees, be in that room, see what you can do to sit on that committee and let your voice be heard. And trust me, as your voice is being heard, your fellow suppliers and those property management and association people will see you. That gets you visibility. That's what you're here for. What is a supplier advocate? You probably heard us say that a few times. during this presentation, and I want to make sure that everyone understands what that really means. The NAA Advocate meeting is an opportunity for you to experience the PAC fundraising process from start to finish, connecting the dots on the importance of participating and contributing to the PAC BGF, as well as advocating for the rental apartment housing industry. Your participation and engagement will create sales opportunities for you and your company. Your attendance at the NAA Advocate will allow you to elevate your status from a vendor, aka supplier in the industry, to a supplier advocate. So I can tell you that that's a big deal right now as we're using this terminology, advocate. So you need to advocate while you're there and let them know that you are a supplier advocate side by side with them. I want to go over a couple of NSC member benefits. There are some new ones that have been added to this list, and I can promise you that the executive team never stops talking about this. We are always trying to come up with new and great benefits, so we always want to hear from you, your voice, to tell us some things maybe you're thinking about, and then we will figure out how to make that happen. So let's go through a couple of these. One, you get a priority booth and hotel selection at Apartmentalize. Remember, that is the education conference called Apartmentalize now. You will also get access to rent NAA member list. That's really important to some companies. Some only do that. I would suggest to do more than just get the member list to be involved. You also now get the NSC e-newsletter. You can get that NSC newsletter emailed to you. If you're not getting it presently, please reach out to Michael and let him know that you're not receiving that, to get you involved. Also, go to the NSC, which if you want to look it up, NAA NSC on LinkedIn. On that LinkedIn, we post the newsletter every time it comes out, so it's another great place for you to gather information. It's also going to get you access to the NAA NSC. I skipped forward there. You also get discounted NAAEI, which is the Education Institute online education courses through Visto. If you haven't checked out Visto, go to the NAA website and check it out. There's a lot on there for suppliers. You also get discounts on the Apartment Careers website for posting jobs for qualified candidates. Apartmentalize provides 3 supplier education tracks to earn your CECs. We've got some great courses coming up at Apartmentalize this summer. You get to network with other NSC members to maximize those sales introductions, which I talked about earlier. Also an exclusive NSC volunteer opportunities for the region liaisons, committee liaisons, committees, and task forces. Before I move to this slide, I'm going to tell you another benefit, very new. I think we're going to talk about it a little bit. We're going to talk about the NSC booth that's going to be at Apartmentalize this year. Very, very, very special and very excited about that booth. It's going to be toward the center, and what that booth is going to be used for is for you to have private meetings, or if it's just a place for you to take a break and come over and hang out with your fellow suppliers. It is going to be an incredible booth. It's going to bring a lot of attention. People are going to want to come over there and check it out to see what it is. So it's going to be a great place for you to come if you need a break or if you need to have a meeting. We'll send all that information out shortly about how to schedule meetings and be able to use this booth space. But that's really what this booth space, we're going to have some drinks and snacks there for you, and we will have a place for you to have private meetings or just a place to hang out. Really looking forward to that. So Thursday, March 13th, 4:30 to 5:30, immediately following the NSC meeting, we're having our very first, sponsored by the National Suppliers Council, a NSC sponsored reception. Also very excited about this. And what we mean by exclusive is that if you are not an NSC member, you will not get an invite. This is exclusive NSC membership benefit. The people that will be there will be the people you're trying to do business with and your fellow NSC members. So this is going to be an opportunity for you to network with your peers and meet these property owners and managers that you've been wanting to meet. It is invitation only. So if you did not receive an RSVP as of yet, please reach out to one of us on the executive committee or Mike Rosenthal, and we will make sure that once that you're on that list that we get that invite to you. There's also going to be a raffle in there to raise funds for the NAA PAC. not going to tell you what that is, but trust me, you want to be there for that raffle. Future receptions, we're going to have one at the Assembly of Delegates, which happens in November, which is another great event. And that will be following immediately after our NSC meeting. So we want to kind of turn this to where this is what we're doing. It will be at Advocate and the Assembly of Delegates each year to have a reception immediately after, chance for us to spend some time together and invite in those people that we want to do business with. This is a new added benefit. On the screen, you'll see your current NSC officers. I'll run through those real quick. Jeff Smedley is your chairman. Mary Walsh, chairman-elect. Myself, I'm your vice chairman of membership. Angie Pusateri Downey is vice chairman of education. And Jay Lopeman is our secretary. And our past chairman is Michelle Childers. Those are your key contact people. If you have a camera, take a picture of that screen. You've got our email address. Please email us if you have any questions or there's ever anything we can help you with. This is a great group that is here to help. Next screen is the next group of people to work with. These are our at-large. These are our backbone. These are the ones that help all of us you saw on that first page. Steve Sorkin, he handles our speakers, does a fantastic job. John Collins supports education and has for a long time. We just recently, our membership person had to step down due to some work things at work, so she wasn't able to do that. So that just came open last week. We are working on filling that spot because I can use some help. Then you've got Russ, who handles our PAC, works hand in hand with Jay this year. And then our newest member at large is Kathy Cook, who is with philanthropy. So we are happy to have Kathy on this meeting with us. And it's question time. Does anyone on the call have any questions?
Hey, Kirk, I just want to take a moment and thank you for getting this all together for everybody. I greatly appreciate it. It's very helpful, especially for people that haven't attended Advocate/Capital Conference before. And I really appreciate your help on this one.
You're very welcome. Thanks, Jeff. Any questions?
So if anyone has any questions, please type them in the Q&A box on your screen. Well, it doesn't look like we have any questions.
You're an easy group. Well, if we could slide back 2 slides to the emails again, that would be great, just so we have that there. So in case anyone does, some people want to speak up, some don't. So if you'll take a look at that slide and put that back up again, that would be great. If anyone has any questions, feel free to reach out to any of us or anyone at NAA. That's what we're here for. And I really appreciate everyone being able to jump on this call. And we look forward to seeing you in a couple of weeks up in DC at Advocate.
Thank you, Kirk. See you in a couple of weeks.
Thanks, everyone. Take care. Bye-bye.